This is a review for the Santa Fe Skies RV Park in Santa Fe, New Mexico. This is our site at the Santa Fe Skies RV Park, and you can see it's really nice how we have this level gravel space where the RV can park, and then there is a concrete pad space. They have a little table and 2 chairs that are on this space, and then of course we always carry more with us, so plenty of seating, nice level spot for you to pull out your awning. Although this is Santa Fe and it's windy, so be careful with those awnings coming out. And then we are back inside along the edge in the Yucca Loop. It's Y21 is our site number. And it's nice because we have this open space behind us. This little bit of the walking trail, I've been seeing a lot of people walking their dogs along this trail. Always keep your eyes posted for rattlesnakes because they do have those here. And then you can see we have full hookup. So there's 2 different septic spots depending on which is closer for your RV. We have 50 amp and water. There's a Wi-Fi booster, but the internet we're getting from the campground is about 0.5 megabytes per second. Fortunately, our Verizon's getting, I think, closer to 40, and then we have Sprint and AT&T, and they're both pulling a little bit too. Sprint's doing better than AT&T. So that's a little bit about what our site looks like. You can see some of these other back-end sites. There's not really anything for amenities. I mean, there's the walking path for the dog park, and then you have your basic hookup stuff. There's not anything like pools or anything like that, but you do have pretty close proximity to Santa Fe. It's not that far off of the Veterans Memorial Highway, which is kind of the bypass road for Santa Fe, and that will get you here or into the area, and then you can go just another exit up I-25 and you can get onto Cerrillos Road, which gets you into kind of downtown Santa Fe. So nice proximity, safe park. They do have a gate. They lock it at night. You have to make sure you have your gate code. So a little bit more security. Sometimes crime can be an issue down in this area too. We lived in Albuquerque for years, so property crime was a bit of a problem. And here we're just kind of driving around the park, so it'll let you see what some of the other campsites look like, and I'll talk a little bit about staying here. So we are staying here the second week of October, so I think it was somewhere around kind of like October 13th, 14th, 15th type area around there. And that is just after Balloon Fiesta. So if you don't know about it, there is the largest international balloon fiesta happens in Albuquerque the first weekend of October. It's actually a little bit more than the weekend. It's, I don't know, like 6 days or something. And so that just happened before this time when we're here. But because so many people come to Albuquerque for the Balloon Fiesta, Santa Fe ends up getting a lot of tourism the week before and the week after. And so we're still paying Balloon Fiesta premium rates to stay here at the Santa Fe Skies RV Park. And because of that, the price was $69 per night. But again, that's the premium for the Balloon Fiesta rates. So normally, I think, actually, I don't quite remember what the rate was. I think it was like $40 or $50, something like that per night. So a lot cheaper because it doesn't have as many amenities, but you do have that nice proximity. There in the distance, you can see a bit of a dog park. So it's an enclosed dog park area, and that's a really nice feature. You can actually let them off leash. And then, like I said, there's a nice entrance where they have a gate. They do lock this gate, so you have to make sure that you have that gate code. I actually just took a picture of that gate code when we first got our information with the park map and everything, and it's important to do that because we didn't think we'd be out that late, and we ended up having a really long day the next day. We didn't get back until dark, and we wouldn't have been able to get into the campground. So just be sure that you have that with you. It gets pretty dark because we're kind of out here at night, and you wouldn't want to have to be walking back to your campsite from outside of the gate. In terms of booking, there are about 5, I think, campgrounds RV parks in Santa Fe area, and everybody else was full, and this was my last option. Unfortunately, they had a cancellation, so we were able to get in, and part of that is probably just because of the traffic from Balloon Fiesta. I don't think it normally would be that difficult to get in, but we were trying to book this probably about 2 months in advance and having trouble finding anywhere to stay in Santa Fe. So be sure to book early when you do know that you're going to book. Pretty sure this was a campground where you needed to call to book the reservation. You couldn't do an online booking. Now, in terms of distance, like I mentioned, it's really close to Santa Fe downtown area, so we're probably only 15 minutes into Santa Fe proper. We're just a jog off of I-25, and so you can easily get back onto the highway as you're heading on to your other adventures. And Santa Fe and Albuquerque are only about 45 minutes away from each other, so it doesn't put you that far away from Albuquerque if you want to use this as a base and then visit down in Albuquerque as well. Santa Fe has a lot to see. The square is popular. You can go to the Governor's Palace. There's a lot of art, big art communities up in kind of Santa Fe, Taos, all these areas. The churches are amazing, a lot of very old churches, and of course the miraculous staircase that is at one of the churches that you need to go check out as well. We didn't actually spend any time in downtown Santa Fe on this trip though. We used the location for Santa Fe as a base to visit different national parks. So this is Pecos Historic National Park, which is very cool to see, and it's just about 20 minutes down the road back on I-25. Then the next day, we took the hour-long drive out to Valles Calderas National Preserve, which was cool to see. They do have a lot of areas to hike and visit, and some cabin areas where you can hike around, see the old buildings. And then we headed over to Bandelier National Monument. Bandelier was really great. You got an opportunity to actually walk up the ladders and head into the different living spaces for these ancient dwellings, and you could really see how everybody existed back in the day. So that was a cool place to visit. We'll do a whole video on Bandelier. I hope this review was helpful for you in deciding if you want to stay at the Santa Fe Skies RV Park. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up. You can follow us on Instagram and Facebook at RV Homeschool. Thanks so much for watching.